Liston Diario presents Sunday Reflections.
Reflections from Sunday, February 2nd, 2025. The time of influencers. The United States presidential campaign has consolidated influencers as the new stars of the digital firmament. Courted by the main candidates, their work was key in mobilizing massive audiences, making them fundamental pieces of the media ecosystem. Their influence was not limited to entertainment or the simple viralization of content. Their ability to generate debates on relevant topics positioned them as valid references in public conversation. This was confirmed by a global survey by the Reuters Institute and the University of Oxford, which reflected a favorable feeling of audiences towards their narratives. More direct, informal, and stripped of the traditional rigor of journalism. These content creators, podcasters, videocasters, interviewers, and talents from platforms such as TikTok or Snapchat were decisive actors in the campaign to such an extent that they became preferred guests at the conventions of the major parties, displacing editorial figures from traditional media. The candidates understood that these digital communicators have the ability to attract a young audience which has largely stopped consuming news through conventional media and prefers to get information through social networks and alternative platforms. Their goal was clear: to take advantage of the influence of these creators to encourage their followers to go to the polls. Researcher Benjamin Toff, co-author of a study on this phenomenon, found in his surveys that many Americans perceive journalists as an ineffective watchdog or as facilitators of powerful actors. A similar conclusion was reached by a report from the Pew Research Center, which revealed that 1 in 5 Americans regularly gets their news from digital influencers. This meteoric rise has led names such as Brian Tyler Cohen, Ben Shapiro, Chris Cillizza, Alex Cooper, and Joe Rogan to become authentic references within the political and social debate. Its impact has been so overwhelming that even the White House has decided to adapt to this new reality. Spokesperson Caroline Leavitt announced that influencers, podcasters, bloggers, and content creators will have a space in the press room of the presidential mansion. We will open this press room to new media voices that produce informative content and whose media are not represented in these seats. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, influencers, and content creators, and we urge them to request credentials to cover this White House, said Leavitt. This institutional opening to digital content creators confirms what is already evident. Influencers have stopped being secondary actors in communication and have become protagonists. Their rise poses an inevitable challenge for traditional media, which must review their strategies and refocus their news distribution model. In a constantly changing media environment, adapting to these new dynamics is not an option but a necessity. For Liston Diario, voiceover and translation by Danny Leon.
Liston Diario presented Sunday Reflections.